What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Odin coming back with a video, and today, as I'm beginning to pack up to head up to Tennessee, taking the big 26-foot truck up tomorrow, I'm going to be covering the box office for this weekend. Before I do, one thing I want to point out are these 2019 numbers here. So just to kind of explain a little bit why I'm become so anti-Disney and why I really do think we need to start actively boycotting their films and not supporting them, is look what the top 5 movies of 2019 have been. Notice they're all Disney-owned properties. So 2019 domestically, you have Avengers Endgame, Captain Marvel, Toy Story 4, The Lion King, and Aladdin, all of which are sequels, reboots, or remakes. And they're all from Disney. Now, some of you might like Disney. Some of you might think that's okay. Some of you might not see a problem with that. But when you start to understand that lesser-known films or independent films or films that are actually original stories aren't getting enough attention because people aren't going out of their way to go see those movies at the box office because these are the movies that are being pushed by big Hollywood and being pushed by people like Disney, that is the reason why I have been very much on that stance. Go ahead and look at the worldwide totals. You can see Avengers Endgame, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man Far From Home, which is technically also Sony, but, you know, obviously Marvel gets a cut of that, Aladdin and Lion King. So even worldwide, you see those top 5 films. So let's go ahead and see what films came out this weekend. And really the only big movie that came out was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is a film I personally really want to see. I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan, and he's really one of the only Hollywood directors right now that continues to make his own original stories and does not have to bow to any of the demands of modern day Hollywood. Like, notice how big studios like Disney will constantly just regurgitate all of this nonsense, will regurgitate, remake, reboot every single year. Sometimes they'll put these movies only a couple years apart from each other. What does Tarantino do? Tarantino says, you know what, I'm doing 10 films, and then I'm done. I'm going to spend my time, I'm doing the films my way, I'm going to go ahead and make the films as good as possible, and I'm going to make it essentially for himself. And by doing so, he's able to actually get a bigger fan base because what he's doing is he's taking his time, he's taking a lot of care with it, and he focuses on trying to tell a great story, trying to focus on giving good character development and also great dialogue, which he's very much known for. And as you can see, even though it's not going to be $1 billion film, the fact that he's making pretty decent money regardless of that, especially when the budget was for about $90 million, which, again, is pretty high for him, but I will say compared to other films is a lot less than one would think. I think it's very impressive nonetheless, and that's why we need to start supporting more films like that, even though we might not necessarily like the films overall, or they might not be necessarily our cup of tea, because these are the films where if we want original stories, if we want stories of, you know, from people that are going to not try and preach to us various times, these are the type of people and these are the type of movies that we need to support. So let's go ahead and just go down the list of movies that we're going to talk about. So Lion King, $962 million. This film's going to cross $1 billion. As I said, it was going to do because obviously it's a giant movie with a giant audience and also, of course, with a giant cast list. And this is really sad because this film is so lifeless and soulless, and also just goes ahead and show you that just because a film makes $1 billion, Captain Marvel, it does not mean that you have a good movie on your hands, seeing that most people, other than, of course, the paid for by Disney critics, I think would agree with this. Now, obviously, the critics were a little bit harsher on this film as compared to other Disney releases. They've been a lot harder on the remakes and reboots, more so than any other films. But even with that being said, I think that they have been covering for Disney for a very long time with a lot of other films, especially in the Marvel sphere, that have not been very good. And you know, I think that this just goes to show. So again, $1 billion film right here in the making, and I think that's really sad. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood making $40 million. This is a film that's not going to have a huge release overseas. It's not going to be the huge China moneymaker, which I really wish it could be, because I think these are the types of films that we need to support. That all being said, it's going to make its money back. It's going to make profit because it is a Tarantino film. He's got a loyal fan base, and so it's probably going to crap out around $300 million, $400 million or so. And that's just because that's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. But I would say go out and support it. I'm going to try and go see it myself tonight and have that be the last film I see at my local theater before I move. But I've heard nothing but great things about it. Obviously, it has those dry moments in it. There's some parts that some might be considered to be boring. It's 2 hours and 41 minutes. But if you go into it expecting a Tarantino film, from everything I've heard, especially from Anna That Star Wars Girl and others, is that you will be pleasantly surprised. So again, support these types of films, because if you want more films like this, Hollywood needs to see that they can make money off of it. Because if we continue to support movies like Lion King, which are soulless and lifeless, they're going to continue to make them. You realize that they're looking at this number right now and they're saying, oh man, The Lion King made $1 billion. Oh man, these other films made $1 billion. We need to make more movies like that, because that's what they're going to end up doing. Spider-Man Far From Home also joined the $1 billion club. Once again, another Disney film crossing $1 billion this year. And even with Disney continuing to make all this money at the box office, notice how the box office is still down by about 10% overall. I wonder why. Could it be because no one is going to support films like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or other independent films, and they're only going to see Disney films? If that doesn't scare you as far as the amount of power and scope that Disney has, I don't really know what else will. Toy Story 4, a really crappy film in my own opinion. There's some people that like it. I just thought that the characters were unnecessary, and Really wasn't a lot to it. $917 million. So this film very much could also cross the $1 billion mark, which would be yet another Disney film crossing that amount. And I think that that is really sad. I think that is really sad. And it really just goes ahead to show you that this is something that honestly is going to be something that many people are going to talk about, years from now, saying, yeah, you know what, that movie wasn't really necessary. That film really just kind of tainted the amazing ending of Toy Story 3. Now, again, we can have differences of opinion on that, but I think that all of us can at least come together and say, yeah, you know what, the writing wasn't really all that strong in comparison to the others, and really was a total cash grab opportunity for them. But guys, what are y'all's thoughts about this? Again, Lion King crossing, getting close to $1 billion film, Spider-Man Far From Home crossing the $1 billion mark, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, again, gonna make its money, gonna make a little bit of money, gonna make a little bit of profit, but still, these are the types of films that need to be supported. Obviously, we look at that, we say 2 hours and 41 minutes. Yeah, but you didn't say that when Avatar came out, or more specifically with Disney, when Endgame came out with a 3-hour runtime. Oh no, well, we're going to see that. That's 3 hours of awesomeness, but yet again, that's just what happens. But guys, let me know your thoughts about this and all the things I'll talk about today, especially why do you think that Disney is the one that's owning everything? And also, do you think that we need to start stepping up? We need to start saying, you know what, I'm done. I'm done supporting this giant machine. They've taken over the box office. They're making the vast majority of profits from the box office, and they're pretty much, because of the pushing that they do on theaters and because of everything else that they've done promotion-wise, they're pretty much destroying the smaller films and the smaller filmmakers from being able to get their names recognized. And it's not because they're not making good films, it's just because Disney has just been able to corner the market here and have really gotten close to creating a monopoly when it comes to these things. But love to hear all the thoughts. Love to hear all your thoughts about all these things in the comments below. If you like this video, smash that like button, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe. It helps me out a lot. You guys are all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless.
Hey everyone, it's Jeremy from geeksandgamers.com, and if you're a fan of Geeks and Gamers, please go to our website, visit our merchandise store. We have t-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, tank tops, and in the very near future, we're going to have many more products for you to choose from. So thank you for the support. We appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to you later.